Screw around, guys. November 23rd.
Absolutely, Dan. All right, it is November 23rd. Let's call this regular meeting of the Marion County Board of Supervisors to order.
Keisha Johnner.
Here.
Mark Rainey.
Here.
Steve McCombs.
Here.
Very good. I would entertain a motion on today's agenda.
Make motion to approve today's agenda.
Second.
McCombs.
Aye.
Rainey.
Aye.
Johnner.
Aye.
Very good. Danny, any communications received by the auditor?
No.
All right, supervisors.
No, I don't have any.
All right, I have nothing. On to public comments. It's the portion of our agenda the public can speak on items not listed on this morning's agenda. The board cannot act on those items. They could be topics for future Board of Supervisor meetings. So are there any public comments on items not on this morning's agenda? In the room? Seeing none. Online? Seeing none, we will move on. Danny's got me on the clock this morning. You can see her just, you're going. I would entertain a motion on this morning's consent agenda.
Make motion we approve today's consent agenda.
Second.
Rainey.
Aye?
Johnner.
Aye.
McCombs.
Aye.
Very good. On to business. First, we have an appointment, Deputy Medical Examiner, Dr. Dale, is it Lensing? Am I saying that right, Terry? Okay. Terry, anything you want to add to that, or?
Nope. It is what it is.
Okay. Okay. Board, any questions?
Nope. I know Dr. Lensing, and
Yep.
yep, I don't have a problem.
Appreciate the willingness to serve in that
Yep.
capacity. Absolutely. Would there be a motion on this?
Yeah, I'll make motion to approve the appointment of the Deputy Medical Examiner, Dr. Lensing.
Second.
Johnner.
Aye.
McCombs.
Aye.
Rainey.
Aye. Very good. Next item is the Marion County Technology Asset Public Sale Policy. Andrew, take her away.
Yes, sir. So before you, we have a technology and asset public sale policy. Basically, what the purpose of this policy is to allow, provide direction for the IT department to be able to post some of our technology items that we replace over the years for sale on our website, or possibly through auctions or anything. And speaking with Mr. Bull, he recommended that we have a policy, so we've written this policy. The attorney's office has reviewed it, and I think it's fairly self-explanatory, open for any questions.
Okay. As far as dollar amounts, Andrew, is there a threshold when we need to maybe have an exception to the policy, or are we talking dollar thresholds that don't even get there?
It doesn't really seem like there's a dollar threshold that we require. I'm not hitting any of those thresholds that are super high. This is all very used equipment, so it's more to save on e-cycling costs and things like that than it is for a revenue generation. I mean, we will receive some revenue. The intent is to put the revenue back in the funds that they were appropriated from. So some offices come out of not the general fund when they purchase. So those funds, if we sell equipment from their office, it'll go back into those budgets.
And then Andrew, for laptops and things of that nature, who does the scrubbing on those to ensure
We
that
do
all,
it.
you
Yep.
do that? Okay.
And so in many cases, we will scrub the laptops. We do a military wipe on them. If we can't do that, or there's cases where the data, we feel like we need to keep the data, then we pull the hard drive out and retain that ourselves.
Okay.
And we would sell that device without a hard drive.
Without a hard drive. Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
So we just
Yeah.
kind of make the determination based on the use of the machine.
Okay, very good. Board, any questions for Andrew on this?
Nope, sounds like a good idea, Andrew.
Hey, Andrew, you're seeing other counties do this also?
Yes, lots of counties do this.
Okay, all right. No further questions.
All right, Andrew, thank you. If there's no further discussion, is there a motion on this asset policy?
I'll make motion to approve the Marion County Technology Asset Policy.
Second.
McCombs.
Aye.
Rainey.
Aye?
Aye.
Very good. Andrew,
you,
thank
Andrew.
you. I think it's a great idea. All right, demolition project update, Mr. Nesterby.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
So yeah, as everybody can tell, if you've driven by the VA campus, let's say a month ago and then came recently, massive difference out there. 74 is officially now clean. That one building so far has had more asbestos than the rest of the campus combined. We have found it in every tile and every fixture and every different kind of caulk they used in the cardboard that they wrapped around pipes.
Oh, wow.
That entire building was full of asbestos, and it is officially finally clean. So that took 4 months to purge that building. It is now done. So that building will start coming down. Once that's down, virtually midway through campus and west is officially out. You can see we've got a stockpile started, probably close to West Pleasant on the middle 40. That's the stockpile that's not completely filled with the 6,000 ton yet, but that's the stockpile that will actually get crushed to whatever Tyler's department decides it wants to be, whether 3-inch down to 1.125". They'll crush it in multiple different sizes for us. So that was part of one of our addendums when we actually approved the bid. So that process has begun. We have come across, and it's going to be surprising to everyone in the room and online, we have come across more tunnels that people didn't know existed. In fact, we just uncovered another one this morning. So we've got Impact 7G coming out to do a little testing on it. But yeah, at the end of the day, we said we would make sure it was a clean site when we're done. Everything that we uncover at this point, we are testing and then we are removing. So there is not going to be anything left in the ground when we're completely out of there. It'll be a clean slate. On the Vite end, their earthworks division has actually been on site now for 2 weeks. So they're starting to pull from our borrow sites and they're coming back in after utilities are removed. And they're actually grading out a lot of final grading going on where demo has already taken place. So things are looking really good out there. If you have any questions on it or anybody wants to go out and take a peek.
I think when we get to, like I said, when we get to building 1, I don't know what you know what their plan is, Chris, once you clear up 74 and they start moving east, what's the plan?
It'll probably be that building 1, building 3 area. So where we're sitting right now, once the old cafeteria is completely down, that's basically the last thing before building 1 that's left. In back, the only thing standing is the boiler plant, the laundry, and then the old facilities building's actually been removed too. The one that was alongside the bowling alley, that's completely gone. All that's left is the original fire station. They're actually using that as kind of a winter headquarters for them to, hold meetings, sit down, do paperwork, do things of that nature.
It might be good when you get to building 1 to maybe have the mayor and a couple council people and some supervisors come out and just take a look at that, take some pictures. I know Steve would like to get some pictures of that before it comes down. So maybe when they get there,
Sure.
Let us know. Second thing on that old boiler plant, has Knoxville contacted you yet on what the disposition of that?
I have not heard anything on intent, so preemptively I went ahead and had that building looked at. I've got basically a contingency bid being put in place by Vite right now to remove that building if we decide that it isn't going to fit overall into the plan. We've also got a salvage bid being put into place to remove everything from the interior of that building and to remove all the asbestos to make sure that it is viable and ready for demo.
Okay.
So we are getting those things in place right now.
Okay. I think that will be coming based on what Knoxville has relayed to me. So be prepared for that. Very good. Any other questions? Steve?
Chris, are we still flying drone flights over there and putting it on the website?
Yes, we are having aerial photographs taken. Right now, it's been about every month that we're taking care of that, so.
Because I got to ask that question. Do we put any videos, like drone videos on?
Yeah, so actually the videos that I take and photos I give to Andrew, and then his department's kind enough to upload our webpage with all the photos, and then correct me if I'm wrong, but the Marion County YouTube page is where the videos go with.
I'm not sure we've gotten to that point yet, Chris.
Okay.
We probably need to start working on that.
I think if he was a little more active on that, maybe he wouldn't have as much trouble with people coming in and wanting to kind of look around if we had, stuff on the website. And I know that was our intent.
Yes.
Another question I had, somebody said that, we see fencing going up on the south side. I'm assuming that's probably gonna be about the last, demo project or not?
It possibly won't be last. So right now, if you have noticed driving by, we went from 3 excavators and a couple other small pieces of equipment to 7 large machines, plus and that's not including the earthwork equipment, and the off-road dump trucks. So there's a lot of equipment out there. As we start to consolidate towards the east side of the main campus, there's really only so much space for so many pieces of equipment to be working. I would envision by the time we get to building 1, they'll also have possibly 2 machines on the south side tearing that down. So
Did the temporary, landfill closure for their scales, did that affect any?
it did not. It actually came in one of those ideal times where we weren't really hauling off debris. We were getting concrete, rebar removed,
Okay.
and stockpiling that for us to crush. So,
Okay.
so we're really it couldn't have come at a better time.
Good. All right. Thank you.
Very good. Any other questions? All right, seeing none.
All right, final thing I'd like to say for public, I know it's really tempting when you drive by and you see the west gate open and think to yourself, man, I used to work here, I retired here. We totally understand that place has a special meaning to a lot of folks. Do me a favor, and if you absolutely positively just feel like you have to see it, reach out to me and give me a call. And when there isn't construction going on, I'll see if I can hook something up. But we've had in the last couple weeks, people online organizing almost group tours.
Oh, wow.
So it tends to be very dangerous. We've had a couple close calls with vehicles that drive right up to an excavator, and if you're familiar with working in an excavator, you have really no idea what's going on behind you. So we've had a couple close calls with vehicles getting really, really close, or people getting out and standing within 4 feet of a working piece of equipment while it's pulling down a building. We need to have that stop. We've obviously got signs up saying trespassers will be fined. That is something we are going to enforce, not because we want to be rude, but because we really don't want to see anybody get harmed, or their personal property, i.e. their vehicles, get harmed in any capacity. We've got semis going in and out of that gate all day. I understand it's a touchy subject, but at the end of the day, we need to make sure we do not go on site for any reason. One day last week alone, we had 14 vehicles we had to stop while they were in campus.
It's not the fact that they can't get on site, they just need to go through the process.
Yes, because when I would be more than happy for, especially considering someone has spent their life working there, they've got strong ties to it, I would be more than happy to accommodate someone's request in a safe manner and in a proper manner. So.
No, appreciate that update. That's important.
Very important.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, very good. Would entertain a motion to close discussion on this item.
Make motion to close discussion.
Second?
Ramey,
Aye.
Johnner,
Aye.
Combs.
Aye.
Okay, very good. ARPA, this is included really because we have something that's time sensitive. We need to discuss and decide whether we want to disperse ARPA funds for it. Do we have the list? What?
I can get.
Okay. Well, I think, Chris, you can probably come up and give us the rundown.
I should just stay standing.
You should have stayed up there, yeah. But this has to do with some of the updates to the law enforcement center that we had talked about in our proposal. I think Chris has lined up some of those materials. They are time sensitive to get proper pricing and access, given what we've seen from supply constraints and those types of things, and the need at the law enforcement center. So I think we need to discuss and take some action on this. Thank you very much, Renee. That's perfect. So you see the facilities. Chris, which ones are we talking about there?
Quite honestly, because of all the HVAC upgrades alone,
Okay.
I would say everything on the facility side. I would greatly appreciate the board giving me approval to go ahead on that. The issue I'm running into is I've had to all but sign my life away to get some of this equipment to ensure that we'd have it within the next year. It's the unfortunate nature of what we see going on right now. Typically, you'd have a condenser go down. It's something I could probably order up and have within a week or two. Condensers, boilers, a lot of this specialty equipment we're utilizing in our facilities, it could be upwards of 6 to 8 months if it isn't sitting on a shelf somewhere. So right now, again, I want to reiterate, we have 1 working condenser unit out of 7 at the law enforcement center.
Right. From an ARPA perspective, this clearly fits within the guidelines of ARPA, so there's not a compliance issue there at all. It's just a question of whether we want to allocate funding for that process vis-a-vis ARPA. So, board.
Well, we've already, currently at other meetings, already agreed on a lot of these, a lot of the items up there already, so I don't see any problem why we wouldn't release funds if we've already agreed upon the project.
Yeah, I don't see any why we wouldn't either.
Chris, are you still looking approximately in those figures then, or what is coming in?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the other thing too. I can pretty much lock in those prices as of today. What we're seeing, and if anybody's bought anything recently in the trades, or had someone come work on your own property, that number can fluctuate in a massive way. It's not so much the demand, it's the supply.
Right.
So our demand has actually dropped off in the industry. Obviously, it's this time of year, you're not gonna have as much construction going on, but the supply is horrible. Go down to Menards and try to find a water heater. I mean, it's a quarter of what they typically would stock.
Right.
And that's just small residential things. So we get into the specialty commercial stuff where typically you wouldn't stock a whole bunch of it anyway. It's more build to order. We're having a very difficult time, and that's because manufacturers are having a really difficult time with components. Some of the finer components that are going into these things.
Chairman Ramey?
Yes, Sheriff.
Sheriff Sandholt here. Hey, Chris has done a fabulous job on this, along with Andrew and my jail administrator, Andrew Schuhart. The previous jail administrator, Justin Kingery, they've been working on this, and this also, just as a reminder, was what we talked about on some of those bids. They have got those new bids, extended that, working with Chris on this. So I wanted to thank Chris, and I would encourage you to move forward with it, because it's kind of that same thing on all those packages. So I appreciate it, the work they've done.
No, appreciate that, Sheriff. Thank you.
Chris, enlighten me again on the security upgrades.
So we're talking about, for LEC side of things, that'd be jail security upgrades. We think about door controls, overall controllers for the building, which I am in 100% favor of. In fact, I've been pushing for this to happen on my end since I took this job. They're using outdated equipment, outdated software, and there's only so much we can actually do to work on some of that stuff. We're talking about very specialized equipment, especially in the door controllers and the electronics behind it. It is really something that needs to be upgraded. And from an overall perspective of being able to make sure that every cell is available at our law enforcement center, but also safety of not only the people residing there, but also the folks that are working there. So that's the security upgrades there. When we come to security upgrades in the courthouse, one of the things that Andrew and I have been talking about for, again, almost as long as I've been here, is instead of having push pads on all of our doors, it's actually utilizing our badges to scan in. Unintentionally, people let their codes out, and then there's also the turnover aspect of things. So effectively, if I wanted to make sure we were completely secure all the time, I probably have to change door codes once a week, and that's just not realistic for anyone.
Right.
So we can control through the IT department who has access to what door. There is no, at that point, I accidentally gave my code out. For an example, as you know, out here in record storage, I had a private citizen who was given the code because typically through their business, they need to get in there, and they were unattended last year. That's we really need to make these changes. So that's the other security upgrade side of things.
Okay, very good. So Michaela or Jake, are you on?
Jake.
Yes, this is Jake. I'm on.
Jake,
Michaela, Mark, I'm on as well.
all right, Michaela, either one of you, okay. Somebody needs to mute their phone, mute their mic.
There she goes. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Hey, I just need to know what we currently have in our account for ARPA, and this, of course, just from a public standpoint, will not affect the county budget because this is coming from federal funds through COVID relief. So Jake or Michaela, what do we presently have in that account?
Can you hear me, Mark?
I can, Michaela.
Okay, yes, currently we have $3.2 million in there.
Okay. Very good. So we have the funds to cover this request. Very good.
Yes, we do.
And then Jake, from a compliance standpoint, since this will be our first expenditure, what do we need to provide to you and Michaela to start that process?
Well, this is our first one, so some sort of, maybe not be today, but I think it would be appropriate to have some sort of official action from the board on the specific projects. Consensus can be made today or whatever, and then maybe next meeting or something, some sort of official document.
A resolution.
Kind of like what you had discussed in the past as well, some sort of resolution with maybe just these specific items. I know there's other things that you're thinking about moving forward, and then from then on, we really don't know. The first report isn't due for several months yet, but I would definitely think all invoices, documentation, any bids, anything of those natures, all that documentation we would like to keep. We don't know exactly what the forms are going to be like. I think it's only going to be annual expense forms now, starting in maybe April or something of that range. So maybe not quite that late. So that's what we're looking at. But anything regarding invoices, biddings, any of those types of documents.
Okay, very good. So what I'd like to do, Jake, then is authorize expenditure, and then in our next meeting, we'll pass a resolution and taking care of that formal aspect, so we don't lose pricing. Okay, very good. Any other questions, board?
No, I don't have any.
All right, very good. Chris, thank you. Is there a motion on the request to expend is that 85, Chris?
Yes.
1.85 million from COVID relief funds on the LEC HVAC and security upgrade, courthouse HVAC and security upgrade, public health HVAC roof, and parking lot upgrade.
I have one question. So
Yes.
if we do that motion, then how does the resolution work in the next, if we have a meeting? So we're already making a motion, and then we're doing a resolution?
We'll just formalize it.
This one. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was
I'm not-
conflicting.
I'm not concerned. It'll be fine.
I make a motion that we release 1.8, the current asking $1.85 million out of the ARPA fund for the identified facilities upgrades.
I'll second that.
Johnner,
Aye.
McCombs,
Aye.
Ramey,
Aye. Very good. Chris, thank you. And for the law enforcement folks working with Chris, thank you very much for helping out in that process. Updates, Mr. McCombs.
Nope.
Oh, Mrs. Johnner.
Yeah, I just want to remind everyone, it's been posted, the lot across from the courthouse to the east, it's 113 through 117 South 3rd. That is for sale. Sealed bids will be accepted until 12/27 at 4:30 p.m. and then we will open those bids on 12/28 meeting. So if you're interested, please contact Chris and the facilities. If you would, please, Chris, I appreciate that. That's all I have.
Very good. Thank you for that update. I have nothing. So is there a motion to adjourn?
Really?
Would you like me to talk for the next half hour,
No,
Steve?
let's get it. Let's
I
make
can't.
Let's make this a short one.
Make motion to adjourn.
Second.
McCombs,
Aye.
Ramey.
Aye.
Johnner.
Aye.
We are adjourned.